Hello, everybody, and welcome to the TeacherCast Educational Network. My name is Jeff Bradbury, and thank you so much for joining us today and making TeacherCast your home for professional development. This is Educational Podcasting Today, episode number 36. Today, we're going to be talking to a New Jersey educator all about her podcast, and we're going to learn what it takes to create a fantastic show around a niche audience. First of all, I want to welcome you guys back to the show. It has been a great year already. We, of course, had some fun times in the last couple of weeks podcasting down at FETC. Had a great time meeting a whole bunch of podcasters, and you're going to be looking to hear some great interviews with them over the next couple of weeks. But we want to hear from you guys. If you're a podcaster out there looking to show off your stuff, reach out to us. You can find us on Twitter at Podcasting Today. Email us over at feedback@teachercast.net. And, of course, let us know how you're doing over on our voicemail, teachercast.net/voicemail. My guest today is a good friend of mine. We have spent countless hours doing ed camps, professional development, and going back and forth on all things Google education. She is the host of a brand new show that is just celebrating her first year anniversary called The Sweet Talk. I want to bring on the wonderful Kim Mattina. Kim, how are you today? Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you, Jeff. It's really nice to be here. Thank you for having me on. I'm fine.
It is so great to have you. Congratulations on the success of your show. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am a technology teacher at the Galloway Township Middle School in Southern New Jersey, and I'm a Google certified trainer and a gold product expert in the Google for Education Help Forum, CS First Help Forum, Jamboard Help Forum. I help their forums. I support their forums, and I'm a Google certified educator and a GAG leader for New Jersey. So, I am all Google.
I love the fact that you are able to take all the, let's say, extracurricular activities that you're doing and really have harnessed all of that knowledge into the Sweet Talk. What made you start this little adventure of yours?
You know what? Last year, I didn't feel like I was gaining enough professional development for myself, and I didn't feel like challenged or anything. So I said, you know what? I got to expand. And I came up with the show, and it far exceeded my expectations. I've met so many wonderful people from around the world. My show went international. I did 4 international shows since I started, and I've had like a guest on every week now. And I've learned so much from all of the people that have been on, and I know that content is helping others. So it's kind of like my mission is to pay it forward. And help other educators integrate technology into their classes, and surrounded with ed tech or a Google for Education ecosystem.
I love the story because it is a story that I've heard so often. I wasn't getting the professional development that I needed, so I went out and I created my own. And I got to tell you, that's how I started here. That's how other podcasters have started. What have you learned in the last year?
How to podcast.
Well, what does that mean?
I've learned, okay, so the content is the easy part, because, you can talk about the content and you can present and you can, share ideas, but it's all the technical part that goes behind it. So I learned a lot about, broadcasting and YouTube Live and streaming videos and scheduling. And I take the live video and I download it so that I only have the audio file, and then I upload it into my podcast platform, and making my podcast available on Podbean and Google Play Music. And the other week, I just learned how to redirect my Google site to the sweettalk.com. And it just seems like every time I want to do something, it's a learning curve, and I'm just going through it. And I can't believe I've been doing this for a year, and I have over 500 subscribers, and I'm just so thankful for everyone that does follow me and watches and does support, because, it gives me the motivation to move on.
Well, let's kind of break down a few of those things, because a couple things that I love about your site. Most people, when they're looking at doing podcasting, they build it with WordPress. They build it with some other kind of system. But you're doing a Google show. So naturally, you're using Google Sites as your platform. What do you think of the new Google Sites?
I like it. I like it much better than the old platform, the old version. I like the drop and drag I like the GUI interface. It's much more easier to integrate with your Google Drive. They did make a lot more improvements, in certain images, embed in videos, or even embed code. I like it. Does it have more to get improved? Of course. At what doesn't need improvement, but that's the nature of the beast. They work with it. You make improvements to make it better, and then they come out with a new version.
And
But
I
I
see that
like it.
I see that you're using a few different things not found natively on your site. Again, this is the sweettalk.com. You're using awesome tables, I believe.
Yeah, that was a learning curve too. Everything's a learning curve. And honestly, that's what I tell people when they come on, because they're nervous and that it's a live show, and I tell them, don't be nervous, it's a learning curve. And if something happens, we'll just start over again, or we just move forward. So yeah, Awesome Tables is another piece that I use to um, keep track of all of the episodes that I've done, and I put on there the YouTube link and the show notes for the episode, so that if someone wants to go and visit a past episode, they know what they're looking for.
Now, you're also using Google Hangouts, you had mentioned, or is it Google Meet, or is it Google whatever the day it is? We'll call it that, right?
Yeah, we can call it Google Hangouts right now. I actually use YouTube live streaming, which opens up Google Hangouts, and that's how I connect with my guest speakers through that app.
And the one thing I love about your show is it's very focused on the content. And I find a lot of new podcasters, you ask the question, who's your audience? And you get the answer, well, teachers. And I go, no, 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 no. Like you're very focused on your audience. Yes, you seem to do a lot of ed tech products, but it really is based on the Google teacher, right? Obviously, it's called the Sweet Talk. You've got all the Google colors and stuff like that. I mean, you are out there talking to the teacher that's using G Suite in their classroom.
Yeah, most of my guests are experienced Google users, and they implemented some type of workflow into their classroom, and that they're sharing with my audience. So I would assume that they really know what they're talking about. That's why I have them on. And a lot of people, they come on and they showcase, things that they created, and there are new extensions that are available in the web store. But yeah, most of my audience are, they're pretty intermediate, advanced G Suite users.
And what do you find your audience is asking? Is it the beginner stuff? Is it the advanced stuff? Is it something a new tool? Like where do you find most of your tweets are coming from?
I just put it out there on social media, and asking people on Twitter, hey, if you want to showcase an ed tech or G Suite for Education app tip or trick or workflow, just fill out the guest form. And they're really enthused about sharing what they do and helping others. So I really don't recruit beginners or anything like that. They fill out the form and they share what they want to share, what they feel comfortable with, because I don't want them to feel uncomfortable when they're on the show.
We're talking today to New Jersey educator Kim Mattina. And of course, you can find all the great stuff about her show over at The Sweet Talk. And we've got all of our show notes and links and everything to the stuff that she's doing over on educationalpodcasting.today. This is, of course, episode number 36. Now, Kim, let me talk to you a little bit about the difference between podcasting and professional development. You had said earlier that you created your show because you were looking for PD. And I know working with you through Ed Camps, you're very active doing face-to-face PD. How do you find, is there a difference, or is there a lot of similarities between face-to-face PD and what we're doing now, standing in front of a camera?
There's a difference. I mean, it was an adjustment for me because I was so used to giving face-to-face or in-person PD all the time, and giving people, my presentation and going through it and walking around and helping people do the hands-on activities. So it was an adjustment for me to do an online, PD session. But right now, like, I'm used to it. Not having that that face-to-face contact with the person, or going over to the person and asking them and making sure that they're on task, or if they're having problems. Obviously that's missing, but um, it's just another way of getting the content out there so that people can learn at their own pace and learn when it's convenient for them.
So what do you find is the differences between maybe a podcast topic and a ed camp PD topic? Is there a difference? Do you find that you can take any show and turn it into an ed camp session?
I think, yeah. I mean, that's a really good question, and there is a difference, because if you're training in person, you're gonna want to give your audience or your attendees, I give my attendees like hands-on activities, and then I give them time to comprehend and play with the tool. And like I said, I walk around and make sure that everyone's okay. The podcast piece, you can't share your screen, and you can't make sure that they're on task, or you can't make sure that they're doing everything what they're supposed to do. So it's a little bit of an adjustment in that respect, but it's just something that you keep in the back of your mind, and you just move forward from there. You have to pay attention to what platform you're really targeting your audience.
And what is that usually? Like what if you had a topic, if I said, Kim, we're going to come on your show and do anything you want, what are the topics that really, really turn you on?
Well, I just did a show last week with a math teacher in Georgia. Her name was Linda Moore, and she blew my mind away. She totally digitized her math class,
Hmm.
and all using Google tools. Nothing paid, no paid subscriptions. It was Google Sites, Google Forms, Google Sheets, Google, Slides, and she just transformed her whole math class and digitized everything. So she's differentiating and she's supporting her students, and the students that don't need the support, they're moving on to the next section or whatnot. I was totally blown away, like, really, because you know why, Jeff? Honestly, and I'm sure you heard it too. You're in the same position as I am. You know, I hear the excuse like, "Oh, we're math. I need to see the work. I need to see it on paper, and they need to show their work." But some teachers take that and they blend it. They do half on the paper or half on the computer. This guest totally had everything digitized. I was totally blown away. Went into school the next day and shared that episode with my math teachers, my math supervisor. It was phenomenal.
And maybe we can link to that. What episode was that?
That was last week. It was GIFs,
Okay.
Google Tools, GIFs, and geometry.
We will definitely be listing that one on the website. Again, this is episode number 36. You can go over to educationalpodcasting.today and check out all of our archives. Kim, what has your podcast taught you? I mean, it's a simple question here, but I find that every time I do a show, I learn something about myself, about my guest, about my hosting capabilities. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. But what have you learned in the last year? Maybe even about yourself or about something that's going to improve on your show.
Honestly, I learn something new every time I get on the Sweet Talk account and I do something for my show. I've learned that, last year, this time, I wasn't in a good spot and I needed something to spark my interest again and motivate me, because I was stuck and I was not in a good spot. And this show really reinvigorated me and motivated me to help other people. And while that happened, it sparked something in me, and I've turned that around. And all of that negative energy that I had in the past just turned into something positive, and the show is the positive outcome of that. And I want to just pass it along and help others with my show now.
So now that you're a year going through this, where do you want to see yourself in 6 months? Where do you want to see your show in a year?
That's a really good question. I would like to be able to obviously continue with the path that I'm going, and hopefully be able to get on more podcast platforms. Maybe try to incorporate a different type of, I don't know, maybe a better tool or better, a better way of presenting my show to my audience. But that's the technical part of it, whereas where the learning curve is for me. But I would like to be able to eventually be able to travel and go to different conferences or different ed camps and maybe host my show with the people there, you know?
Just coming back from FETC, there are so many people that are running around conferences right now with microphones. It was really, really cool to meet them, cool to see them, and I can't recommend it enough to anybody. Just try it out. Right, find a chair in the hallway at the cafeteria at an ed camp, but take your show on the road, make some friends, get some extra interviews. So, Kim, after a year of doing this, what advice do you have for new podcasters? I mean, we all say that the first couple episodes are never going to be as good as the next couple episodes. And here you are, a year into this. What advice do you have for anybody that's listening to this that might be on that beginner side?
Don't be afraid to try something new. Just do it. And you know what's the worst thing that can happen? You start over again the following week and you make it better. So, you always have to reflect on what you're doing, make it better, and just continue to move forward. Have I done mistakes? Sure. But those mistakes made me learn and made me have a better workflow with my show. And, it just made me more confident.
You have a great show, great website, a great attitude on everything. So many podcasters go in here and the first question they ask is, how do I make a buck? And I know you for so long. Your first question is, how do I improve? How do I make this show better? How do I build an audience? All the right questions. That is absolutely why I love listening to The Sweet Talk. You can find more information about Kim's show over at thesweettalk.com. But Kim, that's not your only website. Where else can people learn about you and follow the great things that you're doing?
Well, you can follow me on Twitter at the Tech Lady, and I have underscores in my Twitter handle. So it's at the _tech_lady. And you can Google the Tech Lady Express. That's my website about me and things that I've been recognized for and given credit for, and just what I've been up to. So the Tech Lady Express.
Check out the great work that Kim is doing today. Of course, you can also go over to thesweettalk.com and check out her podcast. She posts almost every week here. A lot of great stuff. Kim, thank you so much for your time. Any last piece of advice that you have for any podcaster looking to get into the game?
Just like I said, just do it. Just try it and do it, and don't be afraid. And the worst thing that can happen is you just make it better for the next time. There's no mistakes.
And of course, we want to help you guys promote your podcast. If you're a podcaster out there, you are welcome to come onto the show. We'd love to talk with you, learn about your show, how you're recording it, what are you doing, talk about your website. You can, of course, reach out to us each and every day over on Twitter at Podcasting Today. That's where we're keeping all of our stuff. If you're interested in bringing podcasting into your classroom, you can, of course, visit podcastingwithstudents.com. We've got some great curriculum resources, apps, equipment, everything that you're looking for podcasting in your classroom. Go over to podcastingwithstudents.com today. And of course, you can check out all the archives for this over at Educational Podcasting Today and edupodcasting.com. And of course, we want to say thank you for being a part of our professional development network. And on behalf of everybody here in the TeacherCast Educational Network, my name is Jeff Bradbury, reminding you to keep up the great work in your classrooms and continue sharing your passions with your students.